welcome back to 9-inch Charge. Today we're doing another Warscroll review. We're going to have a look at the Praetors for Stormcast Eternals. Praetors are a really interesting unit with a great set of rules that I'm absolutely certain draw their inspiration from the Praetorian Guard, who were a legion in the Imperial Roman army that served as the bodyguards for the Roman Emperor. Just before we check out this Warscroll, if you enjoy this video, please be sure to drop it a like. It really means a lot. It helps people find the channel and helps us to grow. If you'd like to see more content like this, there's quite a few Warscroll reviews for new units up on the channel already, so be sure to check those out. And of course, if you want to be first to see all the new Warscroll reviews that are coming out, because there's plenty more coming, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to us, and thank you very much to everyone who's subscribed already. I know Sigmar has a very special place in Azure for each and every one of you. Praetors are exemplary bodyguards, linked to their assigned wards at an arcane spiritual level. This connection allows the Praetor to accept the wounds of their charge unto themselves, keeping Sigmar's champions hale and whole. Praetors have a move characteristic of 5, a save of 3, a bravery of 8, 3 wounds apiece, and carry the keywords Order, Stormcast Eternals, Thunderstrike, and Praetors. And they come in at 165 points for 3. The first thing that jumps out to me is this 3+ save and 3 wounds apiece. They're pretty beefy boys. This puts them up there with the hardiness of paladins, although they don't carry the paladin keyword. Other basic stat lines are a little bit better than paladins. They're 1 point braver at bravery 8, and they're 1 inch quicker at movement 5. They do only come in a unit size of 3, but I think that makes perfect sense considering the rules that they have. When we get into them later on, you'll see why it makes sense that you wouldn't have a whole army of these. It would just kind of make your heroes basically unkillable. So I think it's a good choice for a bit of balance. Each model in the Praetors unit is armed with a Soul Guard's halberd. A Soul Guard's halberd has a range of 1, 3 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, rend 1 and damage 2. One model in this unit can be a Praetor Prime. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of that model's Soul Guard's halberd. The hitting and wounding really nice and easy. Range of 1 is a little bit of a shame because the halberd itself on the model looks like it's probably over 1 inch. They hit and wound nice and easy with their halberd. Obviously they're very skilled at what they do, and a unit of 3 has the potential to cause a massive 20 wounds in combat. Obviously they're just rend 1, and we know this can be easily negated by all-out defense, but again this isn't a massive concern. They're not there to be the damage dealers, they're there to be the bodyguards, so the fact that they're 3 wounds apiece and they've got a 3+ save that you can use all-out defense on is the main thing here. Their ability is Soul Forged Guardians. Praetors are willing to lay down their lives to protect their soul-bonded charge. Upon death, heavenly light spills from these noble champions, cleansing doubt and weakness from their commanders. At the start of the first battle round, before determining who has the first turn, you can pick 1 for any Stormcast Eternals hero on the battlefield, to which this unit will be bound. The same hero cannot have more than 1 unit of Praetors bound to it at any time. Before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to that hero, or instead of making a ward roll for a wound or mortal wound that is allocated to that hero, if the hero is within 3 inches of this unit, roll a dice. On a 1 to 2, that wound or mortal wound is allocated to the hero as normal. On a 3 to 4, that wound or mortal wound is allocated to this unit instead of that hero. On a 5 to 6, that wound or mortal wound is negated. So basically, anytime your hero takes a wound for any reason, be it a spell or shooting or combat, on a 3+, your hero does not take the wound. It's either taken on the Praetors or it's just negated outright. Just be aware that when it says on a 3 to 4 that wound or mortal wound is allocated to this unit instead of that hero, the unit of Praetors won't get a save against that because wounds are allocated after save rolls are made. What's cool about this rule as well is that it can be any Stormcast Eternals hero. There's other rules in, for example, Cities of Sigmar, the Honoured Retinue. They have to be one of the smaller heroes without too many wounds. You could do this for absolutely any Stormcast Eternals hero so long as they carry the Stormcast Eternals keyword. Absolutely loads of utility here. I think this is a really good option if you're building your army around a specific theme or around a specific ability for a character. For example, a priest. If you're trying to get that specific prayer off every turn or that specific spell, and you want to keep that unit alive, Praetors are definitely going to help you there. And it will work better on your spellcasters or your priests because they're likely to be the less armoured and the lower wound count models that will need a bit of protection. And maybe you don't want to use the Amulet of Destiny on them. You know, maybe you've run out of items or you've got a better option for it. So Praetors are basically better than the Amulet of Destiny anyway, and also much cooler. One thing I really like about the ability is that on a 5 or a 6 the wound is just negated. I think that's really cool. It just makes me feel like the Praetors are just standing in and just parrying the blow, like they haven't had to take the wound on themselves because they're so skilled at what they do with their halberds. So as soon as something comes in, like an arrow or a magic missile, they're just parrying it out the way, or in combat they've parried that blow. Really cool rule, very thematic, and that's what I really like about these new War Scrolls, is that there's stuff that is kind of, you can see it happening and it feels really cinematic, and there's going to be some really cool things that happen in your games, and you know that your hero is going to be down to 1 wound and the Praetor's going to come in, save him, next hero phase, heroic recovery, and your hero's back up a couple more wounds and ready to go again. The command ability Rally is going to be really good on Praetors as well, because if you feel like, oh, I've only got 1 Praetor left, and I don't want to lose them out because they're doing such great work on my hero, you can rally them, and on a 6 you're going to get 1 more back. Unfortunately, I don't know how many units of Praetors we will see. I think they're great for narrative play. I do think they have their place in match play, but for around 100 points more you are getting into dragon territory. I think there is a little bit of internal balance to be figured out in the Stormcast book, because there's loads of really great and cool units, but everyone's just going to go to the dragons, and rightly so, because they're awesome models and very cool. But let's have a place for Praetors. If you've been using Praetors in your games, please let me know their most heroic action, and if you're planning on using Praetors in your upcoming games, please let me know which hero type you think that they're best suited to defending. So I think that's just about everything to be said on Praetors. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Knight's Charge, and I will catch you next time.